Hey guys, welcome back to the Prehistoric Life Podcast. I'm your host, and today we're back with another battle episode. I know, two in the same week. Happy Jurassic June, everybody. Gotta love Jurassic June, one of my favorite times of years because I get to celebrate dinosaurs nonstop and only dinosaurs. So today we're actually going to dive in with a very uneven match. We're actually in the second set of brackets. Um, if that makes sense. So we're done with the first level. It goes in, and now we're battling the victors. And this one is Acrocanthosaurus, the high spine lizard, versus the Madagascar predator itself, Majungasaurus. Now, we're going to go ahead and dive into some measurements. I got my Majungasaurus skull from your boy Fossil Crates. Go check out Fossil Crates and Dr. Brian Curtis. Love him. He's an amazing man. Probably gave the wrong pull to the wrong little skull, but pish posh. So let's dive right in with these measurements. So this is Acrocanthosaurus, the high spine lizard, and it comes in at a whopping 13 feet tall and a whopping, I'll give it 12, 30-ish to 39 feet long. So this thing's pretty massive. What was I? And it has a weight of around 2.2 tons. I don't think that's right. That is not right. Oh yeah, and for all of you who don't know, one moment please. I am still trying to work it out with the people. Well, not the people of the museum, but some people that were at the museum. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about when I show this. Hopefully. Terror of the South, Acrocanthosaurus itself. I just covered up one of the cameras, didn't I? Well, one of the cameras will just be blank. But the terror of the South itself, Acrocanthosaurus. This is from the North Carolina Museum of Natural History, but this thing weighs short 4.4 to 6.6 metric tons, or about 4.9 to 7.3 short tons. So this thing is fairly big, and it has a bite force of about 16,894 pounds. So this thing's teeth is basically just shears to human. This thing will just be like biting clean through arms and limbs and stuff. So luckily its opponent doesn't have those. So we're actually going to go ahead and dive right into the Majungasaurus. Give me a moment. All right, so I can actually clear this out. And we're going to switch over to Majungasaurus. I'll put Majungasaurus skull back on so y'all guys can all look at it. Okay, please stay down. Nope, I guess not. You know what? Nah, I won't do that. I'll just put this here. So Majungasaurus, comes in at about, this is gonna be 8-ish, 7.8 to 8-ish feet tall, and it comes in at a whopping 7 meters, or about 22, 23-ish foot long, and it weighs about 1.5 tons, and it has a bite force of 3,148 newtons. So this thing is very tiny. It doesn't stand up to Acrocanthosaurus's height. and it has a bite force of 3,000 newtons of force, while Acrocanthosaurus in its front jaws has more than that. So when I say front jaws, if I were to turn this way, this part where it's like the weakest of the bite force. So yeah, of course it's stronger here. You get that. Same thing with people. I mean, if you bite with your front two teeth, it's kind of harder. Well, it's actually lighter. But if you bite with like your molars and your back teeth, you can bite harder and like take a chunk out of your arm. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and dive right into this very gruesome Majungasaurus massacre. I'm sorry, my boy. I hope Acrocanthosaurus. To be fair, Majungasaurus should be fighting Patago Titan, and that would actually be surprisingly a somewhat fair fight. Not if because Majungasaurus is actually used to hunting sauropods because it hunts Rapatosaurus on the Isle of Madagascar. Well, I guess it wasn't really a isle then, but it hunts sauropods. So it would actually surprisingly feel right at home doing that, which is kind of weird to think about. Granted, I don't think it could actually bring down a fully grown Patago Titan, but still. So yeah, I'm gonna actually. I don't know where I'm going with this. We're gonna dive right into this battle right after a word from our sponsor. So, sponsor Eric,
Thanks, Podcast Eric. Now let's talk about today's sponsor, Dinosaur Trips. If you love looking at these amazing creatures that I show you, and even talking about these amazing creatures that I talk about, and you want to go see them in real life, I heavily suggest you look at Dinosaur Trips. Dinosaur Trips, created by Zach, gives you behind-the-scenes look at museums, and he even takes people out to digs. So if you sound interested in that, go to www.dinosaurtrips.com and tell them that Prehistoric Life sent you, and they will give you $250 off your tickets. And here's their Instagram if you're interested in giving them a follow.
Thank you, advertising Eric. So we're actually going to dive right into this battle. A lone Majungasaurus is walking through an open field, and out from the bushes, an Acrocanthosaurus busts out roaring. Roar, roar, and charges at Majungasaurus. Majungasaurus looks at it, surprised, and hops back as Acrocanthosaurus quickly tries to bite at Majungasaurus. It misses Majungasaurus because Majungasaurus is quicker. Majungasaurus quickly runs and takes a bite at Acrocanthosaurus' leg, shearing some flesh clean out of its thigh. Acrocanthosaurus. That's not right. Oh, I didn't save the page, did I? Well, Acrocanthosaurus actually does have usable front arms. I want that to be brought up right now. I can't believe I didn't bring that up. It actually has usable front limbs, so I forgot to bring that up. They're not super insane long like Allosaurus or something, but they are usable. So Majungasaurus charges in, and Acrocanthosaurus slashes at the face of Majungasaurus, hitting the top bony part here, scratching it down to the bone. Majungasaurus screeches out as it bites one of Acrocanthosaurus' arms and rips all the flesh from the forearm. Acrocanthosaurus quickly bites the neck of Majungasaurus, digging its teeth and breaking skin all the way down the bone, starting to crack the bone. Majungasaurus rips its neck from Acrocanthosaurus' jaws, ripping open its neck, bloody, beaten, and bruised. Majungasaurus quickly tries to run around the side of Acrocanthosaurus and bites at its thigh again and again and again. It bites at its Achilles tendon and starts to rip at it and tear at it. But Acrocanthosaurus kicks it away, kicking Majungasaurus, basically almost flattening its just giant footprint right against its skull. Majungasaurus dazed. Acrocanthosaurus bites the tail of Majungasaurus and just bites clean through it. cutting clean through the tail. Majungasaurus off balance. Its face falls right into the dirt. It's unable to stand up and balance. It's trying to stand up. Its tiny arms can't support its front limbs. It's wobbling. It's lost a big chunk of its tail in the back. Acrocanthosaurus then walks up and puts its foot on Acrocanthosaurus or Majungasaurus's face and starts pressing it into the mud. Acrocanthosaurus then bites the neck of Majungasaurus and just starts biting through the neck, shearing through the lower jaw, cutting it out. As it then jerks its head, snapping Majungasaurus's neck, just it completely popping the brainstem. Majungasaurus gives out one last, spits out some blood, and falls lifeless as Acrocanthosaurus starts to feed. So, yeah, if you saw that size comparison, you would know that this isn't really a fair fight. Majungasaurus did put some hits out on it, but Acrocanthosaurus was had 2 meters tall on it, was 2 meters on it, and had a couple tons on it. And his bite force was the front of Acrocanthosaurus's jaws. So this front part for Acrocanthosaurus was as strong as was stronger than the back part of Majungasaurus. So that's not an indicator that Acrocanthosaurus has the stronger bite force, which is absolutely insane. Then I don't know what it is. So Acrocanthosaurus is our winner. Wow, that was a little bit of an unfair fight. Well, if you want to see more content from me, I'm trying to post more for Jurassic June. I would heavily suggest that you go check me out on Instagram. If it'll load and show that to y'all. So yeah, go check me out on Instagram, and you can see all the additional content that I post. You can see dinosaurs of the week and all that. If you want my content a little bit earlier, I try to post it earlier in my YouTube channel. On my YouTube channel, I don't know what I was trying to say there. I try to post it 2-ish days earlier, so please go subscribe to that if you want to see it earlier. And if you want all of that in one place, go check out my website, prehistoriclifepodcast.com. From there, you can get to my YouTube and my Instagram, and you can see all of my videos from there. If you scroll all the way down to the bottom, you can actually, you're supposed to be able to see my Instagram, but I guess you can't. But from there, you can get to my YouTube and my Instagram, and I hope you guys have all enjoyed this episode. I'm your host, Eric Crawford, signing off. This has been Prehistoric Life Podcast. I will see you all next time. Remember, keep it prehistoric. Goodbye.